عليه says وأما حق نفسك عليك فأن تستوفيها في طاعة الله. The right of yourself, the oneself, against yourself is to employ it in the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Istifa in the Arabic language means to actually attain the right, to fulfill the right. Istifa يعني كل الحق، إعطاء كل الحق للشيء. To give the full rights of that matter, of that thing. So the Imam Salamullah says that you have to give the fulfillment and accomplish the right of your nafs. The nafs, the self, needs the guider. Today, when we go and drive, for example, we need instructions on how to drive correctly. The signals, the traffic light system, all the legal issues of driving. Without it, you would make accidents. So if you don't follow the correct guidelines of the traffic system, then you'll be in trouble. So the human being needs always guidance. When the first day he's born, there's a mother who takes care of him and guides the baby by feeding the baby and so forth, till he gets to the age of youth and so forth. So we need, as human beings, guidance. Without it, the human being would be in atrocities and deviation as we see today. Humanity will not gain the prosperity unless with getting the right source of guidance from Ahl Bayt Salam Allah alayhi. وَأَمَّا حَقُّ نَفْسِكَ عَلَيْكَ فَأَن تَسْتَوْفِيهَا فِي طَاعَةِ اللَّهِ. The other right, I chose basically parts of the حقوق because it's a long risala, so just parts inshallah would be beneficial for everyone. The next right, it's all to do with us, with men, with husbands. The right of the wife, of the woman. There's some kind of advice from the Imam Salamullah alayhi to take care of the woman. The Imam Salamullah alayhi says, وَأَمَّا حَقُّ الزَّوْجَةِ فَأَن تَعْلَمْ أَنَّ اللَّهَ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ جَعَلَهَا لَكَ سَكَنًا وَأُنْسًا. The first thing with regard to the rights of the wife is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed you as a husband, that He gave you a wife who is a comfort for you and sociable. سَكَنًا وَأُنْسًا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the ghariza, the instinct, in the one that he needs a partner. I'm sure you've seen on TV and listened to the news that many of the Christian priests, because Christianity doesn't allow the priest to marry, okay, to be single all their life, as far as they serve inside the church. But how many we have heard that they had difficulties in terms of committing some kind of ala kulli hal, immoral acts inside or outside the church? Because they are going against the instinct, the fitrah. The fitrah says, go and get married. You need it. وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ جَعَلَ لَكُم مِنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا. It's one of the signs of Allah that He made the human being to have a partner. It's part of the creation. And the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he says, النكاح سنتي فمن رغب عن من سنتي فليس مني. Marriage is part of my tradition, and he got married sallallahu alaihi wasallam as a sunnah. So the right of the wife is important for us as believers to follow and apply it. So the first thing, the wife is a second and uns, comfort and sociable. Then he says, Salamullah alayh, فَتَعْلَمْ أَنَّ ذَلِكَ نِعْمَةً مِنَ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكَ. You should know that the wife, now we have a wife, inshallah, our youth will, inshallah, get married, inshallah, in the next few years' time, not very long, before the 28th, inshallah. صلى على محمد
Not just youth, Sheikh, maybe the oldest.
Make sure they don't listen. فتعلم أن ذلك نعمة من الله عليك. It is a blessing from Allah that you have a wife. Blessing from Allah. فتكرمها. The Imam says the first thing, فتكرمها. You should honor her, honor, respect the wife. No, you slap her, because I've heard some people they slap and they slap باللحاف. We have a hadith which says when somebody stresses his hand to slap the wife, the hand will be straight on the hellfire, it will be straight on Nar Jahannam. So make sure we never think of, na'udhu billah, inshallah, away from this majlis, any kind of violence against the wife. فتعلم أن ذلك نعمة من الله عليك فتكرمها وترفق بها. So you honor her and treat her gently. ترفق, رفق. To treat the woman gently. Because the Imam alayhi salam says, المرأة ريحانة. ريحانة, you try to deal with the rayhana, with the rose, with flowers, in a different way as you deal with the stone and rocks. فتكرمها وترفق بها وإن كان حقك عليها أوجب فإن لها عليك أن ترحمها لأنها أسيرك وتطعمها وتكسوها وإذا جهلت عفوت عنها. So you must treat her with compassion since she is your prisoner. Subhanallah, the answer, she's your prisoner. Always at home, she listens to your instructions and orders. وتكسوها, you give her food, you bring her food, you buy her clothes. It is the right of the wife. We have the hadith with regard to the توسع على العيال, توسع. Spend on them. You want to be zahid, fine, don't worry. Be like the zuhad, don't buy expensive clothes, but spend on the family. Take them to the holidays, to the ziyarah and so forth. Buy them clothes, everything. توسع. Make sure that they enjoy the life. وتطعمها وتكسوها وإذا جهلت عفوت عنها. If she did something wrong, you excuse her and pardon her. You forgive her. So we have to treat the woman with more compassion, with more respect. Unlike some people who treat the woman as a second or fourth class human being. In some of the Arab countries or tribes, they say tikram, when she mentions his wife, he says that it's like saying to an animal, alhamdulillah. So this disrespect and making the feeling that the woman is a lower level human being is utterly out of the Islam. This Imam Al-Sajjad, he tells us how to deal with the woman. Sallu ala Muhammad wa alayhi.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بشوف شلون يسلطن ساكتات لانه قاعد يتابع الين المنبر.
صلى على محمد وآل.
اللهم صل على محمد.
Now we move to the rights of the relatives, of the kinship. Al-Arham. Important brothers and sisters. حقوق الأرحام. The rights of relatives. Today we see that there's a great breakdown and gap between the brothers, the uncles, the nephews, and so forth. There's قطيعة الرحم, نعوذ بالله, is happening everywhere. This should be kept, the rahim, the kinship, and the relative issue should be kept with great care and respect. The Imam Salamullah alayhi starts with the haqq al-um, the right of the mother. He says Salamullahi alayhi, وأما حق أمك فأن تعلم أنها حملتك حيث لا يحتمل أحدا. The Imam Salamullah alayhi says, the first right of your mother, you should know that she carried you where nobody is ready to carry anyone else. Just imagine if you have a 2 or 3 kilograms of a brick and you wrap it on your stomach and you walk for 6-7 months. How painful it is, how it is irritating. But the mother carries this fetus, this baby for 6-7 months when it's grown, of course, without complaining, expecting the new child. And then the difficulties in the labor and giving birth, all that pain. So the Imam focused on this issue, that she carried you for all these months, that nobody's ready to carry anybody else. And then he says, Salamullahi alayhi, وَأَعْطَتْكَ مِنْ ثَمَرَةِ قَلْبِهَا مَا لَا يُعْطِي أَحَدًا أَحَدًا. She gave all the vitamins and nutrition and energy to you. Imagine that the mother spends all her time taking care of that baby, breastfeeding the baby, which is the best source of food for the babies, of course, according to the medics, that it's the best source. When you buy the milk powder for the baby, it says the best source of feeding the baby is the breast milk. So she's giving you as a baby, when you were in that period of time, all that nutrition, all that energy. وَوَقَتْكَ بِجَمِيعْ جَوَارِحَهَا. And she protected you with all her organs. Imagine if the baby was almost to fall down from the chair or the sofa. She rushes to pick you up and avoid you falling down and falling to cry. She might injure her because of that. But subhanAllah, Allah gave this mercy to the mother in order to keep this necessity of the humanity to go on up and continue. Then he says, Salamullahi alayhi, وَلَمْ تُبَالِ أَن تَجُوعَ وَتُطْعِمُكَ. She didn't care that to feed you while she's hungry. I've seen this. The mother sits on the dinner, suddenly on the lunch, on the dinner, on the table, suddenly the baby cries. She leaves the plate of food just to go and feed the baby. And she stays hungry for that few minutes. تجوع وتطعمك وتعطش وتسقيك. She gets thirsty, but you get fulfilled and quenched. وتعري وتكسوك. She gets naked, but just to keep you clothed and covered. وتضحى وتظلك. She gets the sun, the heat of the sun, but just to cover you under her garment, abawans, and so forth. Just to make sure that you are safe for the next few years. وتهجر النوم لأجلك. The baby cries in the middle of the night. He wakes up. She wakes up. She leaves the sweetness of sleep in the middle of the night just to take care of that baby. ووقتك الحر والبرد. And she protected you from the cold and the heat. لتكون لها, to be hers. To be hers. فإنك لا تطيق شكرها. The hadith says لا, you can't even أن ترد حتى حق طلقة واحدة من في حال الولادة. Even in the time of labor, you can't even give the right of one pain of the pain of giving the labor and the birth. It is a great حق. فإنك لا تطيق شكرها إلا بعون الله وتوفيقه. With Allah's bless and support that we can thank Allah and give some of the rights to our parents, especially the mother, Because a man came to Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi. And he said, Man abur, who shall I respect more, take care of more? The Holy Prophet said, Ummuka. He said, Faman, faqala ummuka, mother, your mother. Faman, faqala ummuka, 3 or 4 times. Then he said, Thumma abaka, then your father. 3 or 4 times, the Holy Prophet emphasizes on respecting and taking care of the mother. Then your father. Those who have their mothers alive, let them go and kiss their heads and hands and even their feet. And thank Allah that they are still alive. And ask always their dua. Because dua is different. The dua of the mother is different. And those who have passed away, make sure you do the khairat. You do the goodies and you send rewards to the mother, even by attending the majlis. When you come to the majlis, you say, I come to this majlis with the intention of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ahlul Bayt, thawab of Ahlul Bayt, salaamullah alayhim, and that thawab and reward, I will give it to my parents. The next right is haqqul ab, the right for the father. The Imam salaamullah alayhi says, وَأَمَّا حَقُّ أَبِيكَ فَأَنْ تَعْلَمْ أَنَّهُ أَصْلُكَ. The right of your father to know that he is your root, the main root and the basis. وَأَنَّهُ لَوْلَاهُ لَمْ تَكُونَ. If he wasn't there, you wouldn't be in this life. It is your father who was the cause of you to be here today, in this majlis. Part of it goes back to your father. The blessings of the father, who was the cause of us to be here in this life, and to serve the Ahlul Bayt salaamullah alayhim. فَمَهْمَا رَأَيْتَ فِي نَفْسِكَ مما يعجبك فاعلم أن أباك أصل النعمة عليك. Whatever you see from the blessings and the mercies and the bounties you get in this life, the prosperity and so forth, know that it goes back to your father who was the source of your being. After Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the main source, of course, but the sabab and the cause. The father plays a big role as well in this right. أصل النعمة عليك فيه واحمد الله واشكره, and thank Allah that على قدر ذلك ولا قوة إلا بالله. Thank Allah that you gain this blessing, and to ask Allah that me and you, be able to serve our parents as much as we can. To look at their eyes and face with the look of mercy, with the look of rahmah. MashaAllah, numerous ahadith about how do we treat our parents, with the look, by looking, by serving them, by sitting with them, talking to them, making them to laugh, and so forth. Ahadith numerous about this matter. So this is the haqq of the parents, the father and the mother. The next right is haqqul walad, an important message to the parents with regard to their children. Because brothers and sisters, as we have the uquq al-walidain, that the walad or the son or the daughter causes some kind of breakdown between them and their parents because they disobey them, they disrespect their parents. Also we have the uquq al-awlad. Make sure that you don't make your son your enemy with your bad akhlaq, with your bad treatment, using force and violence. We have also the uquq al-awlad, the break of your children. You make them to hate you, you make them to run away in some society, that they run away from their parents. So it's both ways. So the Imam Salamullah alayhi also says, وَأَمَّا حَقُّ وَلَدِكَ فَأَنْ تَعْلَمَ أَنَّهُ مِنْكَ وَمُضَافٌ إِلَيْكَ. The right of your son to know that he's from you and he's been added to you as well. He's part of you, khalas. When you have a newborn baby, you are responsible for this child till he grows up and he gets married and so forth. Because the hadith divides this period of education to 21 years. The first 7 years, the second 7 years, and the third 7 years. صاحبه لاعبه سبعا, play with him for the first 7 years. ثم أدبه سبعا, and then educate him in the second 7 years to the age of 14, the teenage age. وصاحبه وعلى كل حال, and be with him for the rest of the 7 years till 21. ورافقه سبعا وصاحبه سبعا. So we have to use these guidelines in order to be able to understand how do we educate our kids. Then he says, سلام الله عليه, وأما حق ولدك فأن تعلم أنه منك ومضاف إليك في عاجل الدنيا بخيره وشره. He's attached to you either with the cause of the evil or the bad or the good. You educate him in the good manner, he'll be a mu'min inshallah. You educate him in the bad manner and bad way, he'll be a bad person. And you get the burden of educating him as either in a good way or the bad way. They saw one of the fathers who died. They saw him that, well, he's a mu'min, he's a believer, but they saw him, he's in a pain in alam al-akhir. They said, why? Why are you in pain and you're a woman? He said, because I used to bring some movies for my son, who was a teenager, and he used to watch them. And that movies had some kind of immoral parts in that movie, as you know. So whenever he watches, I get this punishment. I get this adab. Although I'm in good condition, but I get this adab because my son, I let him off to watch the bad movies. So whatever you teach your child, you allow him, it will go back to you. So we make sure that we teach our kids the haram, the halal, the wajib, and the muharram. We are responsible all, especially in these countries. In a world that has no limit, either on the satellite channels or on the internet, now kids have full access. So we have to make sure that we direct them in the right path. وأنك, the Imam says, وأنك مسؤول عما وليته به. You are responsible for whatever you guide him and instruct him. We're all responsible. من حسن الأدب, in good education, والدلالة على ربه, and to guide him towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You tell him, oh, pray my son, fast, and so forth, give sadaqah, be a good person, and so forth. والمعونة له على طاعته, and to support him in obeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and obeying the parents. فأعمل في أمره. The Imam says, فأعمل في أمره. Take care of him and educate him properly. فأعمل في أمره عمل من يعلم أنه مثاب على الإحسان. Educate him in a way that you're certainly sure that you'll be rewarded, and he will be also rewarded. أنه مثاب على الإحسان إليه وعاقب على الإساءة إليه. Also be punished if something bad goes on. So make sure that you educate him in a way that he gets the hasanat, the rewards. And if he does something bad, you should know that he will be punished. So we're all responsible towards our kids. We make sure that these majalis are the best source of educating them. They come here, they listen to the Qal al-Baqir wa-Sadiq, to what the Holy Prophet said. We learn from Ahl Bayt, not from the school and the college and the outside. We have to deliver the message of Ahl Bayt to the other societies. Because alhamdulillah, we believe we are on the right path. But we have to apply the instructions of this right path to be able to reach to the end. And that is, of course, not only the Jannah and paradise, وَرِضْوَانٌ مِّنَ اللَّهِ أَكْبَرُ. Allah says in the Quran that the pleasure of Allah, the acceptance of Allah is greater than even Jannah. صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
The next right is the right of the brother. Those who have brothers, either here or abroad, there are also some rights towards them. The Imam Salamun alayhi says, وَأَمَّا حَقَّ أَخِيكَ فَأَنْ تَعْلَمْ أَنَّهُ يَدُكَ وَعِزُّكَ وَقُوَّتِكَ. To know that the right of your brother, that he's like your right hand, your strength, your honor. You go back to your brother when you're in need. The first contact is my brother, or he comes to me, vice versa, to ask support and help and so forth. فلا تتخذه سلاحا على معصية الله. And do not take him as a tool, as a weapon in na'udhu billah, making it haram, disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sometimes some people they stand with their brothers even if they did something wrong. They support them. No, the haqq says that he's wrong. You have to basically stay away from supporting the oppression and dhulm and the wrongdoing. So my brother, yes, that's fine, but when it comes to the haqq and batil, I have to make a stand and advise him. فلا تتخذه سلاحا على معصية الله ولا عدة للظلم لخلق الله. And do not take him as a tool to oppress the others. No, he's my brother, and I'll come with him and I'll beat and punch and destroy the other person. No, I have to stand in the right position. I have to learn from Ahlul Bayt Salamu alayhi. That's how they dealt with these issues. A man came to the Imam alayhi salam. He says something back to the Imam. Imam says nothing, no response. The man says, إياك أعني, I meant you. The Imam says, وعنك أعرض, I ignore you. The Quran says, وإذا خاطبهم الجاهلون قالوا سلاما. Just ignore that jahil who says something bad. Because the hadith says, فإن أول النزاع مضمون الحديث اللطام. أول المشكلة يعني the first action to be taken is when the first slap comes to that person, and then it starts the beatings. And you know that, for example, the Arab tribes, they used to fight hundreds of years. Aus and Khazraj used to fight 200 years because that person hit the other person from that tribe. So they take revenge and continue for years and years. Islam came and destroyed all this jahiliyyah, adat and traditions. But sadly today we still have this issue of violence and using the tool of violence just to protect myself, just to protect my honor, without going to Ahlul Bayt Salamu alayhi. And sometimes it happens between two Muslim groups, brothers, two Islamic centers. They come to fight with each other. Is this how Ahlul Bayt Salamu alayhi taught us? So Ahlul Bayt Salamu alayhi clearly instructed and gave us the guidance on how to deal with these issues. The jahil, خلاص, you ignore him. وأما حق أخيك فأن تعلم أنه يدك وعزك وقوتك فلا تتخذه سلاحا على معصية الله سبحانه وتعالى ولا عدة للظلم لخلق الله ولا تدع نصرته على عدوه. Yes, he was oppressed, he was taken by zalim in the prison. You go and support him, you take him out of the prison. And the akh could be, maybe you can also, the hadith allows us the akh and brother in Islam as well. If my brother in Islam was in difficulty, in situation, I want to support him, I help him. If he needs help, I have to go and support the brother and take him out of this anxiety and trouble. والنصيحة له فإن أطاع الله وإلا فليكن الله سبحانه وتعالى أكرم عليك منه ولا قوة إلا بالله. If he obeyed Allah, then you support him. Otherwise, you should respect Allah and obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.